It's been a huge storyline now. I'm glad you brought that up. The Celtics and the issues with the turnovers, 330, the most by any team in the playoffs since 2006. They give the ball up over 16% of their possessions, by far the worst in the league this season. And Jason Tatum has 95 turnovers this postseason, the most by any player in a postseason since they were first tracked. That's saying a heck of a lot courtside here. As promised, Stephen A. Smith joining us. So with all those numbers, and that's the storyline here, protecting the basketball. Is this about the Warriors' defense versus the Celtics' offense, or just the Celtics being just plain sloppy?
Well, I don't think that you can erase either scenario. The fact of the matter is the Golden State Warriors have a pretty damn good defense, as they have all year. When you put the ball on the floor against them, they can be piranha style. They can engage in a piranha style defense and be all over you and force and cause turnovers. And more importantly, better than practically any team in the NBA, they'll make you pay for it because of the way they can shoot threes. But that doesn't negate the fact that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, to a lesser degree, have to protect the basketball a bit better. They've got to be a bit more selfless and a little less selfish. They've got to make sure that they distribute the basketball, that the spacing is correct, that they're kicking it to Marcus Smart, Derek White, Horford, and others, because they've proven they can make shots. They've got to do that instead of trying to go through two defenders or trying to challenge somebody like a Draymond Green in the case of Jaylen Brown because he was talking smack to you and you want to get back at him. You don't have time for that. What you've got to do is know what your limitations are. You can make shots. You can finish at the basket. You can hit three-pointers, etc. What you can't do is dribble through two or three people and expect to come up with a basket going up against the Golden State Warriors. That ain't going to work to your advantage, and we've seen that already in the first 5 games.
Steve Kerr's done a fantastic job adjusting with the mismatches here so far, especially the last 2 games. Okay, the last time we were here, they split. You are a basketball historian. You know what this environment's going to be like tonight. What do you anticipate, especially what we saw in Game 3 with Draymond, with the crowd, Klay Thompson talking about the crowd. And now the Warriors have the chance to close it out on their home floor. What do you expect from Boston?
The beauty of this game tonight is the only thing you can count on is the Boston crowd.
Yep.
You can't count on the Celtics or the Golden State Warriors being what you expect them to be, because this has been an up and down series throughout. Game 1 was Boston. They turned the 30 or 15-point deficit into a 15-point lead. They win Game 1. Game 2, the Golden State Warriors were up by 30. Game 3, they come into Boston, and the Celtics handle their business, blow them out. Game 4, Steph Curry rises to the occasion, drops 43, 14 to 26 shooting, 7 to 14 from three-point range, looking like the NBA Finals MVP to be. And then Game 5, Andrew Wiggins, even though he's been solid all series, comes out of nowhere and gives you 26 and 13. It's all over the place right now. You don't know which Boston team is going to show up. You don't know which Golden State team is going to show up. That's what has made this one of the most thrilling NBA Finals we've seen in recent memories. I will say this. If Boston is going to win, they need to win by a distance. If the game is tight, Golden State ends everything tonight, because we've seen that the Boston Celtics struggle with producing in crunch time.
And that comes down to not having a point guard. You've said that repeatedly on First Take as well as on SportsCenter. Yes. 2 things we can guarantee tonight. Of course, the Boston fans will show up, and Stephen A. as usual. Much more from him. NBA Countdown. El?
All right, thank you so much.
How will Steph respond? He went 0 for 9 from 3 in Game 5, his 3rd most attempts without a make in his career. Which Jason Tatum shows up, the one who dominated in these playoffs until these finals, or the one who showed up in the finals so far who has not? Finally, the Draymond factor. In the 2 games in Boston, Draymond Green has a total of 4 points on 2 of 11 shooting with 9 fouls. Speaking of Dre, here is his answer when asked about how playing the Celtics compares to facing LeBron in the finals.
It doesn't compare to, like, mentally playing against LeBron James, who I think is arguably, one of the arguably smartest guy to ever play this game. Not one of. He's arguably the smartest guy to step foot on a basketball court. And so to say that it compares to that, it's disrespectful to LeBron, and it's a lie to you.
Vince. There's Vince Carter. There's Brian Windhorst joining us now. It's a party today. Vince, what do you think about what Draymond had to say? Is this kind of disrespectful to the Celtics, or is he just telling the truth?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. He's just taking that shot. I mean, LeBron is his guy, and for sure, LeBron is one of the smartest guys. He's not going to give the Boston Celtics fans or team any credit as they're going into Game 6 trying to beat them. So I understand the angle of where he's coming from. I mean, at the end of the day, we're asked. The question is asked about the 3-1 lead, which is Wendy has talked about all day today about how they're going to approach this and not wanting to go back to San Francisco, giving a younger, hungry Boston Celtics team life more than anything.
Jacoby, I understand why you want to say something in the moment, not worry about posterity, right? Mm-hmm. But when Draymond says that, I always thought KD going to the Warriors was both of them kind of acknowledging that dude is too much. Because they didn't beat him without KD. 2015, get out of here. No Kyrie, no Kevin Love. And then they lost in 16, right? Doesn't this, in a way, set it up to diminish beating the Celtics if they do it?
I just love that we're here on ESPN Live with the finals Game 6 tonight, and we're talking about LeBron James, who didn't even make the play-in. That is what we do here at this company. Yes. And I will also say this, though.
In other words, we're smart.
This is a little bit of a sub-diss towards the Celtics because it comes down to experience. Yes. You think about LeBron James' finals experience. He went to, a decade worth of finals in a row, and the Celtics, they've only played 62 collective finals games. Look at that 186 for the Warriors. So I think that Draymond is recognizing the greatness of LeBron, but at the same time, recognizing the inexperience of the Celtics.
Wendy, this isn't the first time LeBron has heard something like this, is it?
Right. Well, first off, Draymond and LeBron have been in a mutual admiration society for the last few weeks, each of them praising the other back and forth. So this is just the next round of it. I was at that interview session today. Draymond said it about 10 feet behind me. He was asked to rank where the Celtics are, and he basically said behind LeBron. But the greatest thing that was ever said about going up against LeBron in the finals was said, in my opinion, by Eric Spoelstra after the 2020 finals in the bubble, Heat versus Lakers, when Spoelstra said LeBron was making adjustments to the adjustments to the adjustments that we were making. And when I tried to bluff making an adjustment, he knew I was bluffing. And that's essentially what Draymond was also saying.
Yeah, LeBron, it's safe to say, has a fairly high basketball IQ. I think that's Vince, what's the number one thing the Celtics have to get right tonight?
Getting Jason Tatum right. I think that's the number one thing for me. Getting him in an aggressive mindset, getting him downhill, getting him not turning the ball over. I think that's important. And I want to just see him get shots up because that's most importantly. Settling for the 3-point shot when it's contested. No, get into the paint. I'd rather see tonight, guys, to be honest with you, if his percentage shooting is awful, that's okay with me because that means he's getting attempts. That means he's being aggressive. It's not about the attempts. That's a regular season stat, in my opinion. When the marbles and the championship is on the line, that's all I want to see from him is his aggression, getting into the paint, drawing fouls by being aggressive, not hunting for fouls.
Really smart guy this morning on the radio on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Tremendous show on the radio.
Great show. Every morning listen.
Quoted another smart guy. Vince Carter quoted Hembo from Get Up this morning on the radio. Right, Vince? About points in isolation. Yeah. Usually a point per possession in isolation. You're okay. Tatum on 66 ISOs through 5 games. Only 50 points. Oh,
for
not good. Jacoby, what's working for the Warriors?
So 2 weeks ago, before the series started, I was on this program, and I predicted the Warriors in 7. But you, Max Kellerman, you changed my prediction. Do you know how you did?
Game 6, Clay.
Game 6, Clay. Game 6.